Hey guys, I just got back from my very long trip over to the East Coast and I came home to a box from Chanel. I placed an order while I was in New York because basically I wanted it waiting for me when I got home. These are the new cream blushes. Let's see what the full name is. The Cream to Powder Blush. And I couldn't decide which shades I wanted, so I ordered one of each of the new ones, and we are going to try them all out today. So apologies, I feel a little disorganized because, like I said, I just got home. All of my makeup is still in my makeup bag here. So I am going to put on a little bit of foundation. This Christian Dior foundation stick is so good. If you watched any of my vlogs when I was over on the East Coast, this is all I was wearing the whole time, and I loved it. And it was humid, it was hot, it was cool. It was like basically every kind of weather and temperature over there. And this just was perfect all day. I couldn't believe it. All day walking around. I was in New York City for like a day and a half, and I had meetings all day, and I was walking around. I was in the sun, I was in the air conditioning, I was sweating, I was cold. Like literally, it was like every sort of scenario. And my makeup looked great at the end of the day. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I'm going to be putting this on. I have shade 2N, and this is the Dior Forever Skin Perfect or Skin Perfect foundation stick. And I do also have the contour, which I wasn't wearing too much, but this foundation, oh yeah, I love it. It's so seamless on the skin. It's so easy to apply. And because I was traveling, it was just so great to have something in stick form instead of having to put it on the back of my hand and then, using like a makeup remover to remove whatever's on the back of my hand, blah, blah, blah. You guys get me. So anything in stick form, I really recommend for traveling. It's so great, so convenient. So I'm just going to blend this in. And I'm not going to talk too much about my trip because I did vlog most of it. I pretty much stopped right around Labor Day weekend. I just wanted to, relax a little bit. And if you are interested in what I did, definitely check out those vlogs. It is the previous two videos, my back east vlogs. Okay, do you see how quickly that blended in and how flawless that looks? It's so amazing. So amazing. I'll even get up closer. It's so good. Okay, so I'm going to start there. This is blush. So I'm going to be swatching all 5 of the new shades. So I don't think I'm going to put on too much other makeup because I'm going to be removing it all, but maybe I'll put on some eye makeup. I'm just going to use my Chanel Brun Talpa and my BK Beauty 202 brush. We're just going to do a simple one and done eyeshadow look. Yeah, nothing too dramatic, just a light dusting of that shade. I did watch a bunch of movies while I was over there. Alien Romulus being one of them. If you like the Alien movies, I think you'll like this one. And then I watched A Quiet Place Day 1. I thought that was pretty good. I think I may have liked that more than the original A Quiet Place. Have you guys seen those where they can't talk? I won't give away too much. But the originals were on Netflix. I did watch this one on Netflix, but I think this one was actually released in the movies. I don't think the original A Quiet Place movies were released like in the movie theater. I think it was Netflix. I could be mistaken because it was a while ago. Anyway, I thought that was really good. I watched The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I don't think I was prepared for how silly. It's very silly. I don't think I was prepared for that. I had no expectations. I didn't really know what it was about. I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it was based on that like 80s Lee Majors show that I watched when I was a kid. Yeah, I don't think I put 2 and 2 together. Anyway, I didn't realize it was going to be so campy. And I think if it was anyone other than Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, it would not have worked. But it was kind of cute. It was cute. It like grew on me. Okay, anyway, I just threw on some eye makeup. Oh, let me put on some like lip gloss at least. I've just been using my Chanel Balm Essential in Moonlight Kiss. Moonlight Kiss. It's like their balm like highlighter stick. I've just been using it on my lip. And it's the absolute best. I love it. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so let me start by unboxing all of these. And again, there's 5 new shades. Now, I could not be more excited for these new blushes because they being Chanel, had reformulated their blushes, their basic blushes, the baked blushes, a few years ago now. And the reformulation, I did not like at all. I loved Chanel blushes. I loved them. I loved all the shades. I had so many of them. And then when they reformulated them, they just felt they were drier. I didn't think that they blended out quite as nicely. They replaced or like they recreated popular shades in the new formula. I didn't like the shade, like the tone of the new shades as much. Anyway, it was just kind of a disappointment, an overall disappointment. And so I don't know, I haven't really been using Chanel blushes other than like their special limited edition ones, like their baked ones and stuff. Those are always fun. Those are always really nice. But in terms of like their regular line, I just didn't really like the newly created ones. So these I'm very, very excited for. Very different. These are cream to powder, apparently. So, ooh, these look nice. Packaging, standard, very similar to their current blushes, their eyeshadow quads. Does come with the velvet pouch. Here is, wow, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. Grenat Profonde. Apologies. Apologies for the slaughtering there. Let's do a swatch. This, I think, will most likely be too deep for my skin tone, but we will apply it lightly. Ooh, it is very, very creamy. Gorgeous. Okay, the next one I have is Beige Eclatant. Eclatant. That is this one. Has a really beautiful peachy tone. You know what I'm also noticing? There's no like plastic cover or anything on top. So I guess there's no danger of these drying out. I kind of assumed there would be because they're a cream, kind of a cream type formula, but no plastic cover. So that's nice. So there's the Beige Eclatant, I think is Eclatant. Yeah. Next we have Rose Radiant. Ooh, this one looks like it has a bit more of a sheen to it. Let's see. Really pretty. I know it says rose, but it's a little bit on the warmer side. Not the way I kind of think of rose, which is like pinkier, a little bit on the cooler side. This is kind of like a salmon color, if my eyes don't deceive me. Yeah, it's like a little bit of a salmon color. And then fourth, we have Rose Ardent. And this one, yeah, this one looks a little bit more like a rose that I would think of. It's a little bit more pinky, and you can see it next to the other rose shade. Ooh, pretty. These two are going to be very popular. If you want something pinkier, if you want something peachier. And then last but not least, we have Rouge Franc. Ooh, wow. Wow. This is like Exhibit A from NARS. Ooh, a really, really bright kind of tomato red. That is a lot of fun. All right, since I have it out, why don't I go ahead and start with Rouge Franc. Now, these definitely feel like a powder cream hybrid. So I think I can definitely use a brush. I am going to use a brush that is cream/liquid friendly. So I'm going to use like a synthetic haired brush. Sorry, I'm like looking back and forth because I have brushes all over. I think I'm going to go with my BK Beauty 107 brush, this guy, and we'll start there. Yeah, picks up nicely. I didn't have to go in too hard. Actually, that may be too much. This is a really bright shade. Let me just tap, tap gently there. I'm gonna tap the rest over here. So again, this is Rouge Franc, that tomatoey red shade. It's always so surprising. I felt this way whenever I used NARS's Exhibit A. It's such a bright, warm red. You think it's just going to be like, you're going to have like crazy tomato cheeks, but it really isn't. It just adds like a gorgeous flush to your cheeks. This does the same thing. Ooh, I really like that. Beautiful. And this is a nice option. I feel like, at least for myself, my makeup is, a little bit more on the subtle side. So I always kind of end up choosing, like, do I want to do a bolder eye or do I want to do like a bold lip? This is really nice if you want to do a bold cheek. I think this is a really nice option. You can have a soft eye, soft lip, and then just kind of really focus on your cheeks. Pretty. All right, so that is Rouge Franc. And the formula seems great. Blended out really nicely. as you saw, really easily. Beautiful. Okay, let me take this off and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, next I want to try the first shade that I swatched, which is Granat Profonde. This is deep and I think most definitely created for deeper skin tones, but let's give it a shot. Cleaned off my 107 brush and I'm gonna go into this shade now, be really gentle. This one is not quite as warm as that Rouge Franc shade. It definitely has a little bit more of a blue in there. I don't know if I would go so far as to call it like a berry shade, more maybe like a Bordeaux. There is Granat Profonde. Yeah, it's just a little bit cooler than the other shade. Obviously not quite as bright either, but there is a little bit of a purpley tint to this one. Oh, it's pretty. I think with the light touch, this actually looks pretty natural. All right. So that is Granat Profonde. Beautiful. You know, whenever I do swatch after swatch, I always sit here thinking like, what's the worst when I'm doing so silly. I think when I do eyeshadow swatches, those are the worst because the skin up here is so tender and it's so much more sensitive. And I think the second is lips because my lips just get so dry and chapped. And then I feel like I'm not even swatching the lipstick colors to the best of like, you know, I'm not showing them in the best light, but what are you going to do? Anyway, cheeks, not so bad. You just have to be prepared to use a lot of foundation because you're just going to be reapplying it. Okay. How does that look? All reset? Okay, let's see. Let's do this one. I'm basically kind of going from dark to light. This one is the Rose Radiant. So this is the one that I felt like had a little bit of warmth to it. Let me buff this 107 brush. These just have the faintest fragrance. Yeah, the faintest fragrance. Do you remember old school Chanel blush? Loved the formula, but I would open up the shipping box that it would come in and I could start smelling the blush. I'd put it in my drawer. I could still smell the blush. They used to add so much fragrance to their blushes, at least. I can't remember their other products. And they've definitely toned it down with their new blushes, with this product. Yeah, it's just lightly fragranced. Okay, so this one again is the Rose Radiant. So this is the shade that, like I was saying, I feel like it's a rose, but there's a bit of warmth to it, and it kind of comes off like a really warm, kind of deeper peach color, like a salmon. Really pretty. I really like this formula. When I dip the brush in and then I start pouncing it on my cheek, you can see the brush, like the brush strokes of the blush, and then it just blends out perfectly. As soon as I start kind of swiping, it just blends right out. It just, yeah, it's like a formula that behaves really well. I also like that it's not super duper pigmented, like very easy to use. I don't feel like I've overdone it or like, oh no, what have I done? I look like clown cheeks. I feel like I'm just, you know, kind of going into the pan normally. I'm not being too careful. And then putting it on my cheeks, it's almost like mistake proof. And because it's cream to powder, I think that is giving this like just a really beautiful skin-like finish to the product. Very pretty. All right, let's keep going. I'm staring at the receipt right here. These are $52 each, and I purchased it from the Miami shop. You know, I always work with Gio. He always reaches out to me when he's able to sell something, you know, because we see the new releases on Instagram and I'm always like texting him and he's like, we can't sell them yet. So he always texts me when he's able to sell stuff. So he texted me and I ordered it from that shop, from Gio. I'll leave his information down below. I usually try to remember to do that. All right, next let's go in with Rose Ardent. So this is the one that was pinkier. It's definitely cooler in tone. And just going to apply the same way. I'm really liking this BK Beauty 107 brush. 107? 107 brush with this. Oh yeah, I can definitely see that it's cooler in tone. So this is Rose Ardent. Let me apply just a little bit more than I normally would, just so you guys get a better sense of the color. I think that's better. That is Rose Ardent. Very pretty. Remove this and we'll try on the last one, which is Beige Eclatant. All right, going into this beige shade. This is definitely the lightest shade out of the 5. It is quite warm. On my skin tone, and I'm pretty pale. This is very faint. You have to be pretty fair for this to work out. Or I'm wondering, see that pretty sheen? If you have a deeper skin tone, I wonder if you could use this as a highlight. It maybe has too much pigment for that. I don't know. I like highlights that are a little bit sheer, but if you don't mind like a highlight with a little bit of coverage. Yeah, if you have a deeper skin tone, I think it'd be a great highlight. Yeah, it's like just showing up on my skin tone. And like I said, I'm pretty pale, as you guys can see. But that is the Beige Eclatant. It's very pretty. In real life, it's a little bit more obvious than what you're seeing, or at least what I'm seeing on the viewfinder. All right, well, that is it. I really, really like this formula. I think it goes on beautifully. I think it blends out beautifully. I think it is very, very well behaved. I think it's perfectly pigmented too. Not too much, not too little, just right. It's like Goldilocks pigmentation. And I really like the finish of it. Just very, very subtle. It's nothing too, it's nothing shimmery or anything like that. It's very nice, but it's not flat. I don't like a flat, matte, dry looking blush. I really like when there's just a little bit of something, which these definitely have. The shade range is quite lovely. I'm sure they could come out with a few more. They only started out with 5. I hope they're sticking with this formula. Because I do think it is very, very good. And like I said, I don't like their regular blush formula. I don't believe these are limited edition, but I'll leave any information that I can find down below in my description box, because usually on their website, it'll say whether or not something is limited edition. I don't think these are. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.